pass?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's so disgusting. It's from Marge. No, I don't want it. Refuse it. Tell her to stick it up her ass. Take it off my property.
All right.
That was from Margaret.
What did she say?
A funeral thing. Yeah.
Addressed to who?
Wait, addressed to who? To two of us.
Did it say anything on it?
Yeah, I didn't even read the whole thing. I just saw Jim and something about losing dignity.
Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14 episode 12 review. Now, before we get into anything, first of all, make sure you are registering to vote and you're planning on voting. I have been in and out of, catching up on all the shows because I've been trying to keep up with all the election drama. And I had an anniversary this week, so this review is a little bit later than usual, but make sure that you like and subscribe as well, especially if you want to keep supporting the channel. It costs nothing to like, and if you are returning and you've already done those things, thank you so much for rocking with us. We get into a lot of things, and like I said, I've been a little distracted this week, but I still wanted to keep up since the finale is next week. We almost made it through this very annoying season. And let's just start with some of the not so important scenes, and then we'll end with the big, tea reveal scene that was the heart of the episode, right? So you see the Fudas have a scene where they talk about their daughter's tongue tie surgery success, and I thought that maybe if they had more scenes like this instead of trying to blame Teresa for everything, they may have been more likable this season. But then if you go on Twitter, a whole bunch of things came out about all the crimes and home invasions and all the alleged things that they did under a different name. So maybe they wouldn't end up being like that after all their tea came out. But the tea that, involves the allegations brought up by, the baby's moms was really their fault again, because they dragged her during the whole adoption arc that they had last season. So she spilled some of their tea, but because of how they were behaving, the fans dug up even more terrible tea about them. So hopefully they'll learn to do better and know that your past will catch up to you. So again, you should own your stuff before other people, could drag you with your own mess. Next scene is Tree and her family talking about how Louie's court case is over and he won. So I know him and the ex have been going back and forth, and apparently the judge decided that lady was more deranged. I think both of them have done pretty twisted things to each other, but in this instance, Louie was vindicated. So now they can expose Margaret's role in the drama that they've been going through. And then I think it's Louie's dad uses some kind of parable or saying about how dirt can help you rise, use the dirt under your feet to just, move on to bigger and better things, which was some nice wisdom. Next, you see Margaret and Fessler meet, and Fessler warns Margaret that, Tree is planning to, expose Margaret's role in the drama of their life, and that she's actually going to pull out the big guns and bring her lawyer. And then you could tell Marge is nervous. Oh man, if Heaton was a person, if Press was a person, it would be Marge this episode. And Marge basically tells Fessler, that anyone who goes to listen to Teresa and her lawyer is not a real friend to her. And Fessler, even though she's been acting like she has a mind of her own, she falls in line with Margaret and is like, all right, I'm not gonna go. And then Marge starts a campaign to rally all her troops to try to tell them, to prove their friendship to her by not going to Teresa and her lawyer's tea party that's going to feature her treachery. Another big scene of the episode was Louie having a guy's night with Jen Aiden's husband and Dolores's boyfriend, where they basically record messages to their ladies And actually, Jen Aiden's husband's message was surprisingly cute. He was getting so warm and fuzzy on it. He's like, my baby, I love you. I'm sorry I don't show you. And I think therapy is working for them because I did not expect him to be so lovey-dovey on his recording. He won the recording to me. And then another scene was the other boys' night out of the ups, where John Fuda basically almost dies an anaphylactic shock because none of them don't know what that is except for Marge's husband. And then Joe Gorga was calling Louie and Teresa scum, like he's been doing since he came onto the show season 3 at that baptism. Joe Gorga will never beat the charges of coming on the show, you know, and running down on his sibling. This is just unnecessary. I'm not speaking. Why are you running down on them so negatively to these people that you know don't like her? Teresa does not do all that. Like, she may have some scenes where she throws a little shade, but she and her friends have set a tone that, you know, they're not speaking on them. And for Joe to feel so comfortable running down on her, it's like he put on nice, you know, sheep's clothing for a couple seasons, but he's been nasty to his sister from season 3 when we first saw him, and now he's back in his comfort zone of being nasty and negative again, and people don't want to see that. It's like very sad. And then the big scene, Teresa's lawyer, and I'm going to refer to the clip that played at the beginning, you know, with the flowers, but really, to me, I was underwhelmed by what Teresa said, and Marge's, you know, gag of sending the funeral flowers obviously was the big surprise of the episode, even though I had thought that what Teresa would say would be the big surprise. But at the end of the day, Teresa did succeed in showing how Marge was a liar, and Bravo backed her up. So let's rewatch it together.
Margaret responds that she got the subpoena and that she wasn't going to come to court. And I'm going to just get to the pertinent part. The individual that Louie's involved in the litigation with had been speaking with Margaret Josephs, and Josephs told this person she was planning to expose Louie Ruelas and Teresa Giudice based on the information that this person had provided.
So now, guys, I just want to tell you, this will make your head spin. Louie is not allowed to speak about her. She's not allowed to speak about him. So she gets out her information through Margaret.
And Margaret is getting information about Teresa and Louie and is trying to hurt them with it.
This is not a jaw-dropping revelation. Teresa has been questioning this for years.
Like this one, he's abusive.
I didn't say he's abusive. All the girlfriends said he was abusive.
Maybe you're talking to the exes, and that's why it's out now.
Oh, my God.
Yes, you're talking to people in his past.
Why would I talk to people
That's what I
in
think.
his past?
And maybe someone from his past contacted
Why
you.
would they contact me?
You know everybody.
But Margaret has always denied that she spoke to her. Now, we don't know if that's true. I'll figure it out.
Remember the videos that were coming out about Louie?
Right after I met Louie, these videos that he had between him and his ex ended up surfacing on Instagram. And now we put everything together. Margaret was in contact with this individual, and that's how all these videos were getting out.
Do you know any of this? Did she talk about it?
I know.
You guys
Yeah,
are
I mean,
closer.
if
going on through the
anything,
years.
Jackie, you're the only one that would know, like, the most.
No, Margaret never told me anything about talking to the ex.
I knew this was going on. I just couldn't prove it, you know?
She didn't like it when I was continuing to talk to Laura for all those months. And then finally I stopped talking to Laura because I realized it's a thing to do. Margaret calls me a hypocrite, but meanwhile, she's the hypocrite.
So let me get this straight. Teresa and Jen became friends with Laura to dig up on people.
This scene proves why nobody minds a reboot, because all of these women do the same thing to one another, but, you know, they're very hypocritical about it. And at least on my end, I feel like Teresa's a little more honest about what she does, because you saw Marge lie over and over for years about what she was doing, even though it's clear that the whole cast is afraid of her because she's dug up so much dirt on people. So I do agree with Jackie that Marge ruined the show for a lot of reasons, right? So in terms of the setup of, spilling the tea that Marge, was involved in the legal drama with Louie and his ex, that was the range. When it comes to setting up the whole, bringing the lawyer and inviting the girls, that was very dramatic. So Teresa gets a 10 out of 10 for setup and intrigue, because the whole episode I was like, oh, I know this is going to be good. She got a lawyer. She got some solid receipts. This is going to really, really show who Marge is. But this big bomb that she thought she had was not the, wasn't that gag that she thought it was. The tea was stale. So the tea itself is a 1 out of 10 at best. But again, the setup, perfect for Housewives, she invited everybody except Marge to talk so that Marge could defend herself, and at the end of the day, Marge would just lie about it, because again, Bible showed a clip of Marge lying for years. I think they had it back to like 2021, her saying over and over again that she would never talk to Louie's ex. She said it several times, but only now at the beginning of the season. She did interviews admitting that she talked to Louie's ex to kind of deflate the, largeness of the bomb, and to kind of mitigate the wow factor for Teresa, because Teresa was being quiet about, what would be revealed about Marge, but Marge was going on the interview circuit basically saying, oh yeah, her big tea is that I talked to Louie's ex. So now she's admitting it. But why did you lie for so many years? Again, it's because that's the way she was moving for all the cast members. She's been digging up secrets about them. All of them are scared of her. And the only person who's not scared of her is Teresa, which is why them two are the ones that have the good scenes. Melissa's busy throwing rocks, hiding her hands, acting like she's the victim in the situation between, the Gorgas versus the Judices back in the day. Again, the Gorgas came on negative and nasty. And then Marge has been digging up all these things and lying about it. But then in her tagline, she kind of admitted it this season, talking about how, while y'all collecting whatever, I'm collecting screenshots. And again, she finally admitted in interviews, that she did talk to Louie. So even though Marge sending the flowers was the surprise factor of the episode, and it took the cake for the drama and excitement that I thought Teresa was going to bring, at the end of the day, the flowers also show that Marge was pressed about what Teresa was going to say. And because she wasn't there to defend herself or hear it herself, she paid money. Imagine taking money. This is like recession with inflation, groceries high, everything high. She's been getting sued left and right, for the whale logos or whatever and all kinds of things. But she took money out of her pocket to buy them flowers and send it and write that passive aggressive note to Teresa and her lawyer. So that Marge was pressed. I want to make sure that she preserved her image somewhat, no matter what Teresa said. But again, if I was innocent, I would not go out of my pocket and spend money on a stunt like that. And I wouldn't care what Teresa and her lawyer would say. And her saying that stuff about how Teresa's lawyer's office is next to a meth clinic. It's like, I don't know how she even knows that. Again, Marge is just too involved in people's lives, and she was too pressed about Louie. I don't care if that's not your man. Why do you know so much about Louie? And she was pressed about him from day one. So it wasn't a surprise to me, that Marge was talking to Louie. So again, that's why the tea only gets a 1 out of 10. But Marge definitely lost her credibility as a person, and her facade as a crusader, who has this gut feeling about Louie being the bad guy, is shattered, because again, she was talking to the ex, taking notes from the ex, digging up that stuff from the ex. So the fact that she's been pressed about Louie from day one makes her look even more like the shadow villain of the show, because she has constantly been digging up dirt on everyone, and then she's befriending someone who is in active court cases with this man. That's bad. And then Jen Aiden admitted that yes, she and Teresa was being messy by, being friends with one of Marge's ex-best friends in the past, and that was the one that, talked about the Melissa cheating rumor. And they admitted it, and then they said they stopped being friends with the person after a while because it was just lame. So again, all of them do the same things. But Marge lied about it for years. So at the end of the day, I do think that Teresa comes out a little more on top in terms of showing who Marge truly is as a liar and as somebody who did have it out for Louie and was involved with somebody that like he had a legal case against. Like that's not a joke. Something similar happened on Bell Collective where one of the ladies was involved, in a court case for people. The ladies met with her behind their back, and a lot of people thought that was a mess because that girl could have been harmed by that person. And same here. There's like restraining orders and stuff involved. So the fact that Marge is giving this woman intel, taking intel from her, that actually really could have harmed, that family. So Marge, yeah, you gagged a little with them flowers, but you a liar. You got exposed. You look bad, and it's hell for you at the end of the day. And all of them do it to each other with the digging up stuff. So they don't have no business, trying to be fake at this house that Dolores found. And even God didn't want to see the fakeness because the house burnt down and the negativity was shows too much. So I heard Andy said they're going to reboot it. And all that's left is the finale next week. So we almost made it, y'all, through this toxic season. If the reboot happens, I would love to see Teresa and her family again. I don't need to see anybody else. If it's all new faces, I wouldn't mind that either because this is all too much. But say how you feel in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye.